I've never been happier to be wrong about something in my whole life.
So last Monday was the last time all the pups were caught on the camera trap we had set up at the den. Then there followed 2 days of driving rain, freezing conditions, so there wasn't a lot of movement out on the reserve. The next time we checked the den properly was on Thursday, so 3 days later, and only 3 pups emerged. And we watched the 2 adults move them to another den about 1.5 kilometers away. So now, once they'd moved the den, we went and retrieved the camera trap footage and saw that only 3 pups had returned to the den on the Monday afternoon. So we assumed the worst.
Just to lose 7 pups in one go without any answer, no form of closure whatsoever, we were gutted. We came to the conclusion that all 7 pups had been killed.
Dave Varty was convinced they were still fine because he said there's no proper evidence suggesting that anything killed them. I mean, it got to 10 days and there was no sign of these missing 7 pups.
We were all pretty certain at this stage that they were all gone.
So when I heard that 7 of the 10 pups were missing, I've got to say my first instinct was I was not convinced. And the reason being that there was no evidence. And that bothered me. You know, they couldn't have parachuted away, there had to be sign.
Sadly, in that period, out of the 3 pups that we thought were all that was left, 1 was killed by a lioness from the Nsevu pride, so we thought they were down to 2. And then, a week and a half after we thought the 7 had disappeared, we got a message from the Mala Rangers that the pack had been found with 9 pups still alive on the boundary and that they'd crossed back into Londolozi.
I was gobsmacked. I honestly thought someone was joking. 7 pups gone for 10 days and back seemingly from the dead.
And what we think had happened is that the adults were operating out of 2 dens. This has been documented before in wild dog packs, but invariably in bigger packs. It just didn't seem like a feasible use of energy to be running back and forth between different dens, 3 pups here and 7 pups there. Which is why it hardly even crossed our mind as an option. Yet that must be what was happening, because there's no way those 7 pups could have survived for 10 days by themselves. They had to have been at a den somewhere else.
So we headed off at first light. Never searched for anything so hard in my life.
Now we're looking for any sign of the wild dogs and their pups. We ended up splitting into different teams and worked the area very carefully on foot. 1 track of an adult. It's going this way. And after a couple of hours, we caught sight of a little pup in the bushes. And we found them all 9 safely at a new den with the 2 adults. Look, we know it's nature and anything can happen from now, but this is the most unexpected and delightful surprise for us.
Nature is never without her mysteries. This is just another incredible mystery which then became a miracle and reinforces in the 40 years that I've been here. She's always got a trick up her sleeve.
And a big thanks to the Mala Rangers who let us know as soon as they knew, gave them a couple of beers to say thank you. The wonderful thing about this situation is that in the current climate of COVID and what's been happening in the world, the whole large industry is geared towards media now and who's got the greatest sightings and who's got seeing the best wildlife. And you know, the communication between the rangers and the different sides, it really just highlighted how all the guys on the ground here are actually all about the animals themselves, the conservation and the documentation and the well-being of these little pups. So let's focus on them. They're the priority. That's what's close to everyone's hearts out here, and it's pretty special to realize that at the end of the day.